Well, they are.
If it was me, I'd been sitting in jail right now.
Oh, hell, I'd have been shot on sight.
Test. Test.
Well, what
Yeah.
about the guy that pulled the gun on the guy down there at roadside?
He's got his heart. He said, do I need to spend more money? I said, no. You're talking to the wrong guy. I never spent a nickel on that stuff. You know, I said, I know Underwood spending that, you know. And I said, if I was advising you, I'd say don't spend no money. But so, but I think Roger will finish forward. I think he may finish forward.
Really?
Yeah.
I know it'll be Underwood. It'll be between me and Savior. I say.
Roger just, I don't think he just wants to retire.
Is that gonna be the first order of business, I guess?
It's,
I'd like to call this meeting to order of the Jefferson County Board of Commissioners monthly meeting. This is the Monday, March 16th meeting happening on the 23rd. Mr. Clerk, what is our roll call?
17 members present, 3 absent, 1 vacant.
Would everyone please stand for the prayer led by Mr. Joe Coleman and remain standing for the pledge led by Mr. Sam Solomon.
Our Heavenly Father, as we come to you this evening, thy God, we come humbly before you. We know that we need your help at this time. God, we pray for the many around our country tonight that are living in hardship because of the war that's going on and all the turmoil, all of the chaos that's going on in the world tonight. We know, God, that the time is running out. We thank you, God, for the knowledge that you gave us in your precious Son, that this thing is coming to the head in the world and in America. God, tonight, we want to do the best that we can for the people of Jefferson County and for Tennessee. God, we just ask your blessings upon the ones who can be here tonight. Lord, we pray now that you take charge of our service and just fill the minds of the people, God, with your will. And in Jesus' name we pray, and amen.
Amen. Our Christians salute the flag.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to welcome everyone out this evening. Do we have youth leadership in the house? Don't believe so. Got one right there. Thank you for coming out. Next, we move on corrections to the agenda. Anyone, commissioners? We will move right along to the consent agenda. We need to approve it. We have a motion on the floor properly seconded. Consent to the agenda. EJ. We have 17 yes, 0 no. The agenda has been set. You have before you approval of minutes, regular monthly meeting, February 17th, 2026. Motion on the floor by Ronnie Coleman, seconded by Randy Bales. Question or comment? Not hearing any, we'll proceed to vote. Seventeen yes, 0 no, passes. Next, we're down to appearance of citizens. We have quite a lengthy list this evening, so we're going to try to expedite the best we can. So please try not to be too repetitive, and we'll try to get everybody a chance here. I'm going to call a name up, and the next name I call, you will be on deck, and we would like for you to come to the podium and speak. Be sure to say your name clearly and address where you're from. So the first one will be Robert Corman. On deck will be Scott McGee. Mr. Robert, you have 3 minutes, sir.
Robert Corman, 1065 Ridge Point Trail, Dandridge, Tennessee, 37725. My comments were really, I was just advised things were changed a little as far as what you're talking about, but it was geared towards the tax being applied to the zinc. And a couple of things, whether it's zinc or zinc is not included in the tax, is that this area has a high quality zinc. Everything that I've researched, it's valued at over $1 billion. The tax is about $600,000 a year. When you take that cash stream over 20 years, you're talking it's basically $7 million. And oh, by the way, the zinc and the value of land is only going to increase. So the tax itself is so minimal. And you know, when you take into account the fact that they're hauling it with trucks over the road, they're paying more, they should be paying their fair share. And also, on top of that, I've read where 86% of the other counties are already charging this tax. So it's already incorporated into the price of the product. So as far as arguments about losing business, because if we install this tax, they may go elsewhere. I don't think that's the case because we have a high quality zinc, okay, which far more outweighs the value than what they would be paying in taxes. So thank you very much for allowing me to speak.
Thank you, sir. Next, we have Scott McGee. On deck will be Jim Fox.
Yeah, Scott McGee, 623 Flint Lane, New Market. Just concerns about the mineral tax. Worked for the company's zinc mining for 34 years. It's a risk to the jobs, to the families. It's been, everybody's raised up around zinc mining for all their life. It's actually a risk to the miners, farms. The farmers use the lime that comes off of it, so if the money goes up because we're having to pay taxes on it, it's just a risk that farmers are going to have to lose their farms, because we know that it's a struggle now, and I've seen it in the past, been through several layoffs and shutdowns, and it'd be a risk that could happen again. And the mineral rights were sold back in the 70s and 60s, and I feel like it shouldn't be taxed again. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Next, we have Jim Fox. On deck will be Chuck Lane.
Good evening. Jim Fox, Abilene Trail, Dandridge. We've all seen a need to diversify our revenue streams from being just a property tax, a sales tax, and the wheel taxes. And this is an opportunity for that. Couple of things. In December of 25, Correa Zinc announced that they were purchasing Nearstar and its assets, including the mines. Also making a $6.6 billion investment into a new smelter, one in the U.S. They would not have made that investment if they believed that any mineral tax would be prohibitive to making these decisions and not have the ore available for the smelter. Correa Zinc also stated that they plan to reopen the mine in Smith County that was recently closed, a county that already has the mineral tax in place. Also, there was a letter that's been circulating from Walker Trucking that was talking about the ML mine in Knox County being part of that, and Knox County already has a mineral tax in place. The source of this is from ClarksvilleNow.com. There's also an article that was from August 2020 that WBRR-TV did, where the owner of an excavating company that was in Talbot that was overseeing the repairs of 3 sinkholes near the Walmart in Jefferson City. The holes in the ground, and this is a quote, "Gaping holes in the ground are not new to Jefferson County, but they are getting worse. I've worked on them since the 80s. It happens a lot more common now than it used to be because we're getting a lot more rain." He goes on to say, "This happens so much more now because of the mines underneath mixed with heat and water buildup on top of the limestone soil. Just like a wet mop, the heavier it gets, the sooner or later it can't hold itself up and falls. I believe the codes we have in place say if you damage a road, you're responsible for the repairs. This is a way to indirectly recover the cost of those damages." I also understand that the commission is also next month going to start considering a 2% hike in the property tax this next budget cycle. So Correa Zinc own actions, purchasing Nearstar, reopening closed mine, and plus other mines that are already open, that already have this mineral tax in place, proves there's no real risk of jobs. There is evidence that they are damaging our roads, being the sinkholes, and secondly, it is stated, well, the trucks are only traveling. Thank you.
I think that's a
The
good
zinc
deal.
is not
You got 10
taxed, it's only
seconds.
the limestone. The zinc is not being taxed, just the limestone.
Next, we have, thank you, sir. Next, we have Chuck Lane. Derek. He's never done that. Your ding-a-ling's working.
Let me jump.
Hold on just a second, sir. Everybody, okay. Everybody quiet down. Sir, you got the floor.
I'm Chuck Lane. I'm president of Tennessee Mining Association. I live in Knoxville, Tennessee. I want to come and speak for the industry. We mine in 86 counties in the state of Tennessee, so we mine a lot from Mountain City to Memphis, and in each one of those we have we're very minerally diverse, and so we have a very diverse amount of mining. You know, everything from coal mining to zinc to sand and all of that. Just a few talking points. Zinc mining is a global commodity business. When the prices are down and costs go up, mines don't always absorb these costs. They slow down and shut down. We've seen this happen in Tennessee before. We've seen it happen here. When zinc price drops and operators were idle. Many of y'all remember those days. It's been a while, but it could happen again. Tennessee becomes less competitive because of higher severance taxes. Investment and production will move somewhere where the economics are better. Alaska is currently the largest zinc producing state in the United States, and Tennessee is third or fourth, but one of the few that mine zinc. Make the industry important to protect. When mines slow down, the impact goes far beyond the mine itself. Contractors, trucking companies, mining suppliers, and local small businesses all feel it. The best way for the county to benefit from mining long term is to keep mines open, keep people employed, and keep tons being produced. This is added on to a private act. Someone just mentioned that this is not mining, this is not taxing the zinc, it's taxing the limestone, which is correct. It was a private act that was designed with the road builders, worked with the local communities across the state, and agreed to this tax. And so it's a private act. It's designed for this. And so this is actually jumping on to something that is not exactly what we do here. And so, but I do want to say that we're not one size fits all. I kind of mentioned that a minute ago. The reason private and local economies are different and one size does not fit all. What works for one county, one mineral, or one industry may not work for the others. That's why it's important to consider the unique economic role zinc mining plays in Tennessee before increasing the cost of producing it here. So in conclusion, I'd like to say you can't tax production if the mine is not producing. A small tax increase on paper can turn into a very big loss in reality. Mining companies can't move the ore, but they can move the investment. If Tennessee becomes less competitive, the zinc will still get mined, just somewhere else. The best tax policy for a mining county is to keep the mine open.
Thanks, sir. Next, we have Derek McCoy, and on deck will be Linda McSmith.
Hello, my name is Derek McCoy, 315 Virginia Avenue, Morristown. I work for Nearstar, and I'm a resident of Tennessee for the last 5 years. I come from Eastern Kentucky, relocated to this area as a miner. I'm a third-generation miner from the coal fields. I worked in the coal fields for 13 years underground. Through economic policies such as this tax, Pike County, Kentucky, which was where I'm from, was known as the energy capital of the world. It housed more coal mines than anywhere else in the world and provided for its citizens. I moved to the state of Tennessee because of taxes and different types of taxes around our county, our state, and of course our country that shut a lot of them down. Now I think there might be 5 coal mines open in the state where in the county where I'm from in Kentucky. Relocated here to Tennessee because of the opportunity. If you look on a map of all the mines that have been here in Tennessee's history since the Civil War, there have been many mines open, and the cost of production has only increased over time. This mineral tax will increase that cost once again. In a county and in a state that has a rich history of mining that has continuously closed its mines. Like Mr. Lane said, it will move elsewhere. Korea Zinc purchased a smelter, not a mines. So they can purchase zinc from wherever they want to smelt it. It does not have to come from our mines. What this tax will do is not hurt Nearstar or Korea Zinc or any company that owns it. Those costs will be passed down to the consumer. Like Mr. Scott said, it will go to the farmer. with our aggregate product. And it will ultimately hurt the miner who works at these mines. So this tax is counterintuitive to your citizens, not a company. It has nothing to do with the company. The trucks that haul over these roads, the mines that mine underneath you, they provide a lot of jobs for the citizens of this county and this state. And if we continue to raise the cost of living, raise the cost of production, we will only continue to close down these businesses that are so vital to me, my family, and many others. I'm a pastor here in Jefferson County. There's a rich history amongst some of my congregants, and this is only going to go through a ripple effect to hurt everybody in this county. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Next, we have Linda McSmith.
Name and where they live in Jefferson County. Is it appropriate to have mining presidents and people outside of Jefferson County to speak? Is that part of our policies and regulations?
Technically a First Amendment right.
Okay, just checking.
3 minutes. Miss Linda?
You have to say who you represent yourself, your neighborhood.
Yes. Miss
Linda McSmith, appearing for myself. 3766 Island View, Sevierville, Tennessee, Jefferson County. A couple things. First off, on the mineral tax. I think there is a lot more that needs to be discussed on the mineral tax. I think there's a lot more to be found. I think there's a lot of due diligence as it relates to bringing up a subject like this, that we need to make sure we have all of our facts together. I think there needs to be a group or a committee that looks at this, that can bring back to the rest of the commission the details as it relates to this. I know this started last year. I believe it was last year in April, maybe even before that, the rumblings, but it got dropped off and nothing happened for a really long period of time. I think we need to really look at this with deeper thought rather than going out on social media and necessarily having a fight. I do support looking at the fact that there's a lot of damage done to our community based on what's happening with this business in the community. The roads are being heavily utilized with heavy industry that breaks our roads down. We have a lot of problems with the roads in our county. We need to look at that. We need to weigh that. We need to talk to other areas in the state or other states and see what impact there was on them as well. Secondly, thank the Budget Committee for looking at the nonprofits and the fire departments. I don't know how many people watch the news. Some people totally don't watch the news these days, but there's been different things in the news about volunteer fire departments and what's happening all over the U.S. It's not just happening in Jefferson County. They're having a hard time getting people and keeping people on their rosters. This is an issue because the young ones today are not looking at the same type of things as they did years ago. They're not looking to serve their communities like people did previously. They're not looking to this as a stepping stone to look at this as a career potentially in the future. So we have a hard time getting people in and keeping them. We have a very disposable society nowadays. They want to go in, they want to do their job minute by minute and then get off that clock as soon as they can. So we are struggling with people, and the cost to run the departments keep going higher and higher. Okay, I'm out of town. Thank you.
Thank you. Adam Kressler, you are next. And on deck, we have Brian Millen. Sir, you have the floor.
Good evening. Adam Kressler, 360 St. Edward Drive, Dandridge, Tennessee. My name is Adam Kressler. As I stated, I work for Sandvik Mining and Rock Technology out of our White Pine, Tennessee facility. Sandvik, for those of you who don't know, supplies underground and surface mining machinery, spare parts, consumables, and technical services to hundreds of customers across the U.S. including many right here in Tennessee and specifically in Jefferson County. One of our top 5 customers nationwide happens to be Nearstar, as you know, operates in Jefferson County. It is Nearstar's long-term partnership with Sandvik that brought our company here to the county. We've been close partners with them for about 10 years, and their continued significant business directly led to the opening of our facility in White Pine. That branch now employs 25 highly skilled, high-wage workers, the majority of whom live in Jefferson County. These wages, they flow directly back into the community, strengthening the local economy. I prioritize hiring local residents and contracting with local businesses wherever possible, rather than relying on out-of-state vendors or even vendors just in Knox County. Beyond the economic benefits that we and the mining industry brings to the county, Sandvik has consistently demonstrated a strong corporate citizenship within the community, such as last year we donated $4,000 to the White Pine Fire Department in much needed portable lighting and tools. For 3 consecutive years, Sandvik has contributed over $2,000 a year to the White Pine Police Department Shop with a Cop program. After Hurricane Helene, a little bit out of county, I understand, but we provided $7,000 in supplies down to Newport, and I shut the branch down for 2 days and sent all of my employees to Newport to help rebuild Newport. During any power outages and emergencies, we open our facility to provide free showers and mobile charging stations for the public. While an additional 20 cents tax on certain products may seem minor, the items affected are low-margin commodities, whether it be aggregates or with Nearstar. Even small increases in cost could place significant strain on the businesses that we support. Many already operate on thin margins, and added tax pressure could force them to scale back or close. If that happens, Sandvik, whose presence is directly tied to these guys, these operations for these people in this room, may also have to reconsider our local footprint and at a minimum reconsider my planned $3 million expansion to the White Pine facility. Nearstar and other similar operations contribute substantial revenue to Jefferson County and provide irreplaceable high-paying jobs, and also supply critical minerals essential to U.S. defense, technology, and energy as identified by the USGS's 2025 critical minerals list. Policies that jeopardize their stability could create far-reaching economic and strategic consequences. Given the serious potential impacts, I respectfully urge you to reconsider this proposed tax and engage directly with the affected businesses before moving forward.
Sorry, sir, you're out of time.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Brian Millington. And Kim Starr, you're on deck.
Brian Millington, 2820 Whispering Pines Road, Strawberry Plains, Tennessee. Thank you for allowing me to talk tonight, and I want to address Resolution 2026-11. So my name is Brian Millington. I'm a 3rd generation miner. So my dad and grandfather worked in the mines. So I was fortunate enough to grow up, and they was able to make a career out of mining here in Jefferson County. Fortunately, I've been able to follow in their footsteps and make that same career. So for 20 years, not 40 years, I ain't that old yet, but for 20 years, me and my family has benefited from mining in Jefferson County. Not only me, but since the late 1800s, mining has brought stability, growth, and sustainability to Jefferson County, allowing a lot of the residents to work their careers and retire here in Jefferson County. I can about guarantee that everybody in this room, if you are from here, you know somebody or you're related to somebody who has worked in the mines. And I want to just take a moment to point out a few things that we all take for granted on a daily basis that makes our life much easier. So I'm sure everybody woke up this morning with a roof over their head. I'm sure everybody drove a car here today. I'm sure everybody has a cell phone in their pocket. I hope everybody brushed their teeth today. So if you did, you did it by critical minerals mined here in Jefferson County. Okay? The downstream effects of that, we employ over 500 people here in the county. We also have contractors and vendors that travel here every day. They buy fuel here, they buy food here. Half of our employees live, play, and spend money here in Jefferson County. So I'm not a politician, I'm not an expert in economics, but to jeopardize that is the math don't math to me, right? So we want to make, as growing up, as mentioned earlier, I want to tie it back to I am a third generation miner. And mining can be tough at times. So it is a marginal business and we are dependent on the zinc price. So I watched my dad get laid off 3 different times growing up. I didn't want to be in that same situation, but I'm fortunate enough to be able to make a career out of mining here. What we don't want to do is add additional prices and things that could cause that low operating margin to go in the opposite effect. It's happened here before, several times. When the price of zinc goes low, we can't afford to operate, right? We have to give up something. And to maintain stability that mining has brought to Jefferson County since the late 1800s, I respectfully ask you not to pass the resolution 2026-11 imposing a mineral tax. Not only does it jeopardize the potential revenue stream mining brings to the county, but it puts hundreds of jobs at jeopardy. I'll fall back to my opening statement that I am a third generation miner who has been able to make an honest living and career here in the county. Don't ruin that for generations to come.
Thank you, sir. Next, we have Kim Starr. And on deck, we have Wally Godby.
Hi, my name is Kim Starr. I'm speaking for myself. I live at 1815 Ridgecrest Drive in Dandridge. In an effort to make this very simple, you guys are going to hear a lot on both sides. I'm not here to reiterate any of that. But I do believe that you want to hear from your constituents, so I'm putting it on record. I am for the mineral tax. Listening to the miners who come up, very much appreciate what they do. But just as their corporation are going to suffer maybe some more expenses, and they're talking about how it's handed down, well, the same thing applies to everybody who lives here. We're all driving on the roads. I just had to pay $300 some for a front end alignment because I'm hitting all the potholes. And I'm not saying they're all caused by these trucks and everything like that, but everybody needs to pay their fair share. So now my $300 is gone. I can't spend as much at the grocery store, and I'm sure a lot of other people can say the same thing. If that's what the argument is, you know, it can apply to any small business around here. I just think that the big businesses should not necessarily always hand every single thing down to the people below them. Maybe they do need to absorb some of it, just like all of the business owners around here have to do when costs go up and you have to make those decisions. So, thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Wally Godby. And on deck, Ben Surprise.
Wally Godby here for myself, 1935 Buck Hollow, District 7. As the previous person said, you're going to hear a lot of the same stuff back and forth. I'm here as a constituent of District 7 to voice that I am in favor of the mineral tax. I'm a new resident here. I came from Colorado. Colorado has been heavily into the oil business, and as with any commodity, when they go up and down, people get laid off, businesses close. I mean, look at what happened under President Biden with the oil industry for the last 4 years prior to President Trump coming back and opening it back up. I don't think that we can base what we're doing based on what the commodity may or may not do in the future. We have to protect what we have here in this county. And if I understand right, because I'm new here, and I've just been picking up bits and pieces, the county right now is running for this year a little bit over $1 million deficit. Now, if I have that wrong, I apologize for that. But I'd like to ask everybody here, do you know what our county highway workers start at? I know Joe Patterson, I saw him here somewhere, could answer that. Anybody want to say? $13 an hour. These are the guys that are out working, and they're not making the high-paying jobs that the miners are making. And they need to have a living wage. I mean, these are guys that are working on these roads, repaving the roads, fixing the potholes, and they're doing it 24/7. I mean, in all the weather, whether it's winter, whether it's summer, whether it's raining, it doesn't matter. And it seems to me that the only thing that's really being talked about here for a revenue stream, again, based on what I've heard, is what's going to be coming up is this 2% property tax increase. Well, as a 90% disabled veteran that doesn't have any income other than my disability pay right now, I don't want to see a property tax increase that's going to affect every property owner in the county. Right now, it seems that the mines are getting a free pass for the damage that they're doing to the roads. They're not being made to pay their fair share. One of the prior speakers talked about the farmers and the product that they use, primarily the limestone or the lime. Well, this tax, it exempts any agricultural use from the tax. And as somebody that built a house here 3 years ago, and I bought a lot of trucks of gravel to go into my foundation, it would have been about a $4 per truckload difference for me. It wouldn't have stopped me from building my house. But I also know that one of the comments that has been made has been about walkers and the dedicated trucks that they have to run this limestone. Well, I can tell you I never used walkers because they were almost $300 a truckload higher on their gravel than the truckloads that I had brought in. And why is that? It's because that's what they're charging to haul it.
Thank you, sir. Next, we have Benson Bryant. On deck, Kathleen Villers.
Can you guys pass that down? I've handed 3 different sets. My name is Benson Bryant. I live in Dandridge, Tennessee. I'm running for District 2 Commissioner. I'm going to talk to you about something a little different today. Since I've been considering running for Commissioner, I've started to get the packets that you all receive. And the biggest thing that I've noticed, the most glaring thing that I've noticed, is how little information is in each one of these. I've been here for almost 5 years. I've been coming to these meetings, off and on for all of those, and I've seen these. Have you guys, has it been passed around? Do you guys see, everybody's seen this? This mineral tax that we're talking about tonight.
Into the microphone, sir.
Yeah.
Address the commission.
This mineral tax is one sentence. What we're talking about tonight is encompassed in one sentence, which Tennessee Code, whatever, which authorizes county to levy a tax, to tax the severance of the earth of sand, gravel, sandstone, chert, and limestone. You notice there's no zinc in there, by the way. So that's not going to be taxed. That's the only, in Jefferson, in the boundaries. Oh, and the key word there is, I thought it was in here. All, I thought it was in here, it said all. Anyway, it doesn't matter. One sentence. All this that's going on tonight is one sentence. That's all the information you guys have gotten. I don't know about you guys, but I've had to do a lot of research to come up with a form and opinion. I don't know, have all of you guys had a chance to research it? Or did you just rely on one sentence to what you're, I know you probably can't answer, but the answer is no. If you take your job seriously, you've had to do a ton of research. And I don't think that's right. I've been working with Kerry Davis to try to improve these for the last few months. Frank Herndon now is in charge of the agenda and the packets. I was making some progress with Kerry. I hope to work with Frank. But I am working to try to get you guys some more information. I don't. Each one of you that I've talked to have said that there's, without a doubt, not enough information in these packets. So all I'm asking for is, each of you to request, requiring, you guys need to ask. I can't ask. I can make all the noise in the world. Frank's not going to listen to me. But if you guys ask and request more information in these packets, you need to get that. You need to ask for it, and you deserve it. You can't make decisions off of one sentence. All right? So I hope you do that. I ask you please to do that, and thank you.
Thank you, sir. Kathleen Villers. Next, we'll have Austin Lawson.
Kathleen Villers, 2202 Arrowhead Drive, Dandridge. Good evening. I'm here to urge a yes vote on the 20-cent mineral tax. My request is backed by evidence, extensive research into the mining, government, and financial data. My goal is to replace uncertainty with data-driven facts, the problem, infrastructure, and fairness. Our county budget has been repeatedly strained. There are critical infrastructure needs, and the county needs new revenue. Loaded dump trucks, carrying limestone and similar, traverse our county, wrecking our roads. Historical data reveals a pattern of shifting cost. I did some research from 2006 to 2016. Jefferson County mines operated under a pilot agreement. Pilot stands for payment in lieu of property tax. Saving the mines over $2 million over cumulatively 10 years, a 50% discount approximately on their property taxes for a decade. That $2 million was paid to the Jefferson County Industrial Development Board. This arrangement resulted in $4+ million shortfall in actual property tax revenue for our county. So for 10 years, our citizens shouldered and subsidized that amount of tax while the mines avoided it. The mineral severance tax the mineral severance tax was enacted in 1985 and supplies dollars solely for our county road funds. The county still has not adopted it, and instead has turned to property tax holders to bridge gaps in the road fund. Over the last several decades, the tax could have already generated, in the past, $8 million in new revenue, but we didn't choose to do that. Costs were instead shifted to the citizens. Resistance for this tax has been voiced. Believe me, I support the mines, all the hard workers, all the businesses in the county, and want to do certainly what will help Jefferson County. But before I proceed, I must ask a key question. Do any of you have a conflict of interest? Do any of you have a family member who perhaps works for the mines or owns or works for a company doing business with them? Transparency is essential when millions of public funds are at stake. The solution? This tax is a standard best practice. The Department of Revenue already delivers $8.4 million annually to 69 Tennessee counties that levy it. In those 69 counties, there has been zero lost jobs and 0 mine closures due to the mineral tax. Jefferson County remains a negative exception. The tax would generate roughly $520K per year, growing to $780 over 20 years. That's $13.8 million.
I'm sorry, ma'am, your time's up.
Can I request a continuation?
I'm almost done.
Make it quick.
Thank you so much. That would be $13.6 million over 20 years, enough to pave 25% of our roads. The industry impact, Nearstar is a subsidiary. Consider the relationship with its parent company, Trafigura. Trafigura had $240 billion in revenue. Well, transfer pricing, folks, there's what is called transfer pricing is the manipulation of revenue and expenses between a parent and a subsidiary. It's a common industry tactic to mask a subsidiary's true profits. While local reports may downplay profitability, these internal maneuvers shift wealth away from the very community where the resources are being extracted. In conclusion, pull the curtain back and take away the transfer pricing. Per financial experts, mining in East Tennessee is a highly profitable sector, generating an estimated $132 million in Jefferson County alone. The proposed 20-cent tax represents a levy merely of $518K, and folks, that is less than 0.5%. To put it into perspective, in a 2,000-calorie diet, that tax represents 8 calories. One stick of sugar-free gum on a 2,000 full-day calorie. Korea Zinc recently invested $6.6 million in Tennessee, indicating a bright future and long commitment. The zinc in our mines is high grade. They're not going elsewhere. It's some of the best. But right now, only 3% of that ore is zinc. The rest, 97% is limestone, and it is that 97% that would be taxed. In conclusion, the tax is much needed revenue source in our county to fix roads and a depletion for resources. Please pass it. Thank you.
Austin Lawson, you're up next. William Billers, you're on deck.
Austin Lawson, 1601 Mossy Oak Drive, Jefferson City, Tennessee. I'm a single income household. I support a wife and 2 children. I work for Nearstar. 5 years ago, I was homeless. I had nowhere to live. When I started for Nearstar, put my head down, worked hard, able to provide a life for my wife and children. Nearstar is a low yield, low margin based board generation. We can sit here and say, oh, Korea Zinc's got $7 billion invested. They've got $7 billion invested. That's a drop in the bucket compared to what we are as a mine. They can source their minerals from overseas, wherever they need to. They bought a smelter. They're building a smelter. The mine was just a free gimmick, right? So they can do away with us. That's nothing to them. They can source it from wherever they need to be at. I'm looking at it as a father, as a husband, as a provider. Everything rolls downhill, right? So if they see that, they're not making anything off of us, they easily shut us down. So I have to go home and tell my wife and children, hey, I have no job because of the mineral tax. Then we're gonna have to move somewhere else. Mining's a highly skilled industry. I can go anywhere in the world and work if I wanted to. Then I'd have to uproot my family, move to wherever jobs are available at, and then that's gonna take income from Jefferson County. The house I bought it off of Tony Thomas, Walker Realtors, Tiger Real Estate, locally owned business, right across the street. We eat at McDonald's, Burger King, Fish Short House, Elsa's On. These are locally owned businesses, locally owned places, individuals, and we could be possibly taking money from the community. I understand it's a mineral tax. It may be minute compared to what the company is worth, but we're just a small portion of what that company is. We're not huge. We're very small compared to what these people have at their disposal. That's it.
Thank you, sir. Next, we have William Villers on deck, Craig Churchman.
I'm Bill Villers at 2202 Arrowhead Drive, Dandridge, speaking for concerned residents and me. I'm asking the commission to approve the mineral severance tax. Jefferson County spending has exceeded budget for the 3rd straight year. Property tax increases are covering most of the deficits. A mineral tax would provide fair property tax road fund relief. Jefferson County is the 8th largest Tennessee mining county, but doesn't collect mineral tax. Tennessee State and 86% of Tennessee mining counties do. Commissioners voting no should explain why mineral tax works for 69 counties, but not Jefferson County, and if any direct or indirect mining industry conflict of interest exists. The tax is minimal, 20 cents per $50 ton or 0.4%, but ag uses are exempt. It doesn't threaten jobs or mine closures. Companies producing over 80% of Jefferson County's mining revenue have profit margins that are greater than the average of 100 consumer staples companies like Colgate. Korea Zinc's $6.6 billion Tennessee zinc smelter investment verifies industry profitability. In over 40 years, no job losses were caused by the mineral tax. Mineral mines typically fail due to commodity price drops, mismanagement, usually in the regulatory or debt overspending areas, or insufficient or depleted resources. Short-term pilots, which is payment in lieu of property tax, heavily subsidize some new companies at property owners' expense to help them get started. But excluding pilots, any business, mining or otherwise, asking taxpayers to cover its costs either wants higher profits or has already failed. Failed businesses require better business viability or stronger management, not free public subsidies. Tennessee's Attorney General confirmed that property and mineral taxes are not double taxation. Mineral tax applies to the extracted non-renewable resources and county costs, mostly road repairs. One 20-ton truckload causes road wear equivalent to 9,800 passenger vehicles, and 80 to 90% of mine materials are hauled on many county roads. Benefits of the mineral tax that was originally enacted to provide property tax relief from road expenses. The recent property tax increase could have been 1/3 lower. The current budget shortfall could be covered without a property tax hike. The road budget is 75% underfunded versus best practices. Mineral tax could double the road repair rates. Property owners could have saved nearly $8 million since 1985 that's inappropriately subsidized mining businesses. Conclusion, vote yes for the mineral tax. A no vote will cause another property tax hike to once again inappropriately cover lack of mineral tax revenue. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Cindy Churchman on deck. Brad Toomey.
All right. Good evening. So my name is Craig Churchman. I'm here on behalf of Nearstar East Tennessee Mining. Tennessee mines have had an incredible local history that spans nearly 100 years and are a pillar of the local economy. Nearstar is proud to be a part of that as a stable employer, over 500 people, and about half of those live right here in Jefferson County. We've heard the personal stories of many of our employees this evening, and they represent real people whose work keeps our local economy strong. A little bit more about us. We directly pay over $500,000 via taxes and donations to local nonprofits. Additionally, we spend about $330,000 in utilities, and we expend about $11 million annually to vendors at the state and local levels. Additionally, we spend about $60 million in salaries to our employees, who spend a large portion of that right here in the local economy. These expenditures not only provide direct employment, they also stimulate service sector spending in local businesses and the broader community that depends on the mine's success. These economic benefits, however, are not a guarantee, as the mining complex today currently does not generate a profit. Mining is currently subjected to a lot of economic headwinds. We've heard high consumable prices, tariffs, and some falling mineral prices of late as well. We have not, as a company, approached local government for assistance, but we are here tonight to politely ask for your help to not make our situation any worse. Our ores compete at a global scale, and that's set by the London Metal Exchange. We cannot simply ask for higher sale prices, nor could we accept larger losses within our company. We ask for local support as opposed to further unneeded downward pressure on our business. Local mining does not cause sinkholes, nor do we operate on county roads. All of our truck traffic occurs on State Highway 11E. So the imposing of additional taxes could jeopardize the sale of a 9-figure investment in the state of Tennessee by Korea Zinc. The sale to date has not closed, and this additional tax would be considered as a material consideration as part of that sale. The United States desperately needs that investment to secure our domestic production of critical minerals and to ultimately break our resilience on China for essential domestic defense materials. So finally, we'd like to respectfully but strongly oppose the additional taxation, as it, number one, could negatively affect the livelihood of current tax-paying citizens right here in Jefferson County, as well as it doesn't address the root cause of the problem for the roadway issues. And ultimately, worst of all, it could affect the United States' strategic objective to secure the domestic critical minerals. So thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir. Next, we have Brad Toomey on deck. We got Chris Mash.
Thank you. Brad Toomey, representing myself, 312 Caroline Court, Talbert. I want to address a concern that's been passing this resolution that might threaten jobs in our mines, in our community, and ancillary businesses that are related to the entire industry here in Jefferson County, and not just here, but I guess across all of Tennessee. These are good, quality, high-paying jobs that we do need to continue to attract into our county, as we've discussed in other forums, to diversify our tax base. But as someone that's spent over 25 years analyzing financial risks and investments and budgets and balance sheets for large corporations such as the Dutch company or the Korean company that are going to now own our mines, I have some financial background in being able to look at these from that point of view. Everyone said a lot of what I've already going to put through in the first couple of paragraphs, that it's not the zinc, it's the aggregate, it's the limestone. It's a 20-cent per ton tax on limestone that leaves the mines. So if the limestone stays in the mines, it's not taxed. If it's used in agriculture, it's not taxed. What's actually driving the future of these mines is not this tax, with or without it. 2/3 of the counties in Tennessee have this tax, and the mines are operating there perfectly fine. The thing driving this entire recent change is what's going on in our global economy and our politics in Washington. Trump has decided that we need to be less reliant on Chinese materials and zinc is one of those materials. He's made sure that the Department of Defense, or Department of War as it's called now, is actually investing in this. They are a 40% owner in the joint venture that's going to own these mines and this smelter. The Department of Defense is not going to make a decision on investing in critical minerals for aerospace and defense over a 20-cent a ton limestone tax. With about a minute to go, I'll say I want to leave you with one final thought. We've debated at length in this county about our over-reliance on residential property taxes to fund the government. We've heard the numbers that Jefferson County ranks near the bottom of East Tennessee counties when it comes to a commercial tax base. Actually, we're 19th out of 22 East Tennessee counties when it comes to commercial tax diversification. We've seen consecutive property tax increases over the past 2 years for numerous reasons, totaling almost an 11% increase, falling squarely on the backs of our homeowners and our farmers. As you enter the budget season again in the next couple of weeks, there's already been talks about another property tax increase looming. Every time the Commission can find a lawful, reasonable way to generate revenue from commercial or industrial activity rather than from our residents' properties, we must take one small step towards balancing our budget and becoming more sustainable with the fiscal foundation of Jefferson County. This resolution does that, and I think it's going to be a good path forward to diversifying our tax base. And I would appreciate that if you can at least consider it this time, and if it doesn't pass, to please continue this conversation about diversifying our tax base to stop relying on homeowners so much. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Next, we have Chris Mash on deck, Marion Knight.
Chris Mash, 1081 McGuire Road, New Market. I'm here to speak against this mineral tax. It's been called many names, but in the end, it's still a tax. One of our commissioners says the tax will not be passed on to the taxpayers. This is false. The commissioner has thrown numbers out with nothing to back his theory or proof. It's kind of example going to Food City and getting your groceries and expecting Food City to pay your sales tax. It doesn't happen. You know, how's this mineral tax going to be passed on? Who's going to be paying for it? The one said commissioner and administrator of Concerned Citizens of Jefferson County has been passing out sharing an AI-made flyer that's full of false information. It appears to be their normal practice. The flyer claims 25 producing mines are in Jefferson County. In reality, there's only 3 mines producing, one is which is in Knox County. 2 of them here in Jefferson County. The flyer claims that the mines and the trucks are causing damage to the roads and they should be paying for the repairs. Facts that most people don't realize. Most trucks pay a heavy highway use tax. That's $5.50 per truck per year. That has to be paid before you can even apply for your state registration tag, which runs an additional $1,250 to $1,500 per truck per year. On top of that, Tennessee has a 27 cents a gallon state sales tax on on-dyed diesel fuel, which most trucks run. Most trucks average 5 to 6 miles to the gallon, so simple math on a 5 miles per gallon average truck. Every 500 miles, the trucking company has to pay $27 in tax. They either have to purchase that fuel or they got to pay the tax. You know, so let's be real. Are they paying their fair share for being on roads? I believe so. And we also have one local trucking company registering between 90 to 100 license plates in Jefferson County at an annual rate of $130,000. They could be forced, if this tax goes in, the mines shut down, send that to Knox County. You know, this mineral tax may not seem sufficient at first, but when applied to the volume of the material being moved, it could create, you know, pressure financially on the mines, which is already operating in the red, as we heard from them in April. And the jobs will be lost. Registration fees could be forced to Knox County. Community assistance could be reduced. You know, sometimes the best ways to protect the county long-term revenue is protecting the industries that are already providing jobs, economic activity in our county. You know, I don't understand how any commissioner could gamble with 500 to 600 family livelihood in the mining and local trucking industries of putting them out of a job. Also, what's disturbing to me is we got people in this county that don't want quarries or rock crushers, but they want to reap the benefits. You know, it's bad enough we have $25,000 to $32,000 a month going to Sevier County in taxes collected. Could I finish? I'm almost done.
30 seconds.
You know, that being said, it's Jefferson County product. Let's work on bringing that back to Jefferson County. That's real money. Thank you.
Thanks, sir. Next, we have Marion Knight. On deck, Derek Watkins.
Marion Knight Dandridge. The proposed mineral severance tax is on tonight's agenda, and I'm sorry for you guys. If it passed, the tax on 1 ton of the byproduct of zinc mining would be 20 cents. I currently pay 9 3/4% tax on practically everything I buy at a store. I also pay property tax, gas tax, meals tax, and 2 wheel taxes. I'm not thinking about moving. And gas prices have gone up more than 20 cents a gallon in the last week. I haven't stopped using my car. If I'm to believe what has been stated at previous meetings, our zinc is one of the highest grade zincs in the world. According to its website, Nearstar USA will likely be sold to Korea Zinc in the first half of this year. So I have questions, a lot of questions, sorry. Is it equitable that residents pay so many local taxes when a multi-billion-dollar international company pays no local taxes at all on the valuable minerals extracted from the ground here? I understand there are other counties that charge this tax, and has been brought up already, as it's authorized by state law. Have any operations closed due to the tax? The one closure that was cited during the last discussion was due to the low price of zinc, not due to a mineral severance tax. It sounds like they can sell the byproducts. Won't they just pass the tax on? And do you think that the threatened shutdown is just a way to scare you into rejecting a mineral severance tax? Do you think if they shut down that some other company would see the value of our zinc and reopen the site? It seems like Korea Zinc sees that. If the property is purchased by the Koreans, are we guaranteed that they will not bring in their own people and eliminate local jobs? And I've heard that some people are worried that the tax will be charged on anything dug up from the ground in the county. The state law authorizing the tax appears to define the tax as applicable only to extraction of materials meant for sale. I'm sure our county attorney can address that. In light of upcoming elections, it's important that you answer these questions. Voters might be interested in your answers and your vote. Thank you in advance for your responses. And I have the questions typed up for you.
Thank you, ma'am. Next, we have Derek Watkins. And on deck, we got Tyler Nicely.
My name is Reese Watkins. I'm a resident of Rocktown Road in Jefferson City, Tennessee. I'm a native resident of Jefferson County. I've lived here since prior to 2020, and I'd like for you to listen to me. This is an election year, maybe you will. I feel that there's been a total disconnect with the folks that actually do foot the bill for this county and the state of Tennessee as well as the country. The folks that are paying to pave roads are the folks paying for heavyweight license plates. I'm the owner of a small plumbing business and do a little bit of excavating as well. Between 3 one-ton trucks and 1 smaller dump truck, I pay nearly $3,000 a year in license plates. What are your residential tax now? I'm already paving your roads. You've shot down every other industry that was here or even wanted to come here, and will certainly block the future Piedmont Quarry with a yes vote tonight. Our roads already receive twice the traffic. We might as well receive part of the tax money. We have all the negative impacts with none of the positive. How can this possibly be enforced? It is simple government overreach. Where are rocks found? Everywhere. It's East Tennessee. What if you have them in your flower bed? You want them out? Are you taxing them when they're transported, when they're sold? How does this work? Where is the limit to this law? There is not one. This could include coffee shop parking lots. It will affect you as a consumer. It could affect car wash parking lots. It could affect Whole Foods, everything that some of you choose to patronize. Also, who in this room has a water heater? I would imagine everyone. You are producing or gathering lime. It's not for agricultural use, is it? Also, who in here likes to dove hunt? It may be a little known fact, but doves you can find on the side of the road gathering chat or small fine gravel to process their food and their craw. Craw is a scientific term. This is still Jefferson County by name, but it's not the county that I grew up in, and it's certainly not the same county commission that my grandfather sat with. I've had family here for over 200 years, and I'm home. You all are stuck with me. You can vote how you want. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Next, we have Tyler Nicely.
Hi, I'm Tyler Nicely with Walker Truck Contractors. I'm here in opposition to the mineral tax. I'm a fourth generation family member owner at Walker's Truck Contractors. We've been hauling rock for the mines, other mines, any mine in East Tennessee since the 30s, mid-30s. We run anywhere, like previously stated, 90 to 110 trucks depending on operating season. And all the registrations are $1,300 to $1,500 a piece in Jefferson County. To whatever I was previously stating, Gordonsville, the Middle Tennessee mine, they have the mineral tax. That mine is closed. All the zinc that is produced here goes to Middle Tennessee. I'm afraid if you level the playing field, they'll just go to the closer mine, which makes more sense to me. We run, like I said, 90 to 100 trucks, 40 of those dedicated for Near Star. If we lose Near Star, we've lost half our trucking fleet. We will have to go to Knox County. It's not a choice. It's the only place we have other work. The mine rock, it all travels on 11E. You got Emil coming down Knox County Road. Young stays on site. Coy goes down 11E. Doesn't touch County Road. None of it. There are other quarries that do. This one does not. Korea Zinc bought the smelter. They haven't bought the mine, as far as I know. That smelter can take zinc via boat, rail, via road. They can get it several ways. Trucks aren't the cheapest way by far, but they're choosing to use a local company. I think the county has a pretty good thing, having such a good, large employer here. I hope to keep them here. That's it.
Thank you, sir. That concludes citizens' input this evening, so we'll move right along with the agenda. We're down to approval of notaries and bonds. Whoops, wait a minute. I think we got a letter to read. I'm sorry. I stand corrected.
I'm not going to go through the whole letter because we stressed over and over a lot of the things that this gentleman has.
Microphone. Turn your microphone on, Marcus.
Has put forward for me to read. This is from James Lance. He's a 27-year veteran of the U.S. Armed Forces. He resides at 2246 Peninsula Drive, Jefferson City, Tennessee. He says, I am here on behalf of the citizens of Dogwood Acres. I'm addressing the commission tonight on one very important issue for the third time. I'm requesting this commission approve the proposed mineral severance tax on tonight's agenda. And he's mentioned quite a few of the things that both sides have mentioned tonight. And both sides, I'm sure, are important. But Jim says Jefferson County roads are already in poor condition. We've covered that enough. We know that's true. The exceedingly poor condition of our county roads results in damage to our fellow citizens' vehicles, the potholes, other issues caused by the mine's heavy equipment. Jefferson County is again one of the only counties in eastern Tennessee that does not impose a mineral service tax on mines operating in our area. He states that by ignoring this, we are essentially endorsing the exploitation of Jefferson County's natural resources at no cost to the mining company. The fallacy that imposing a small 20 cents per ton mineral severance tax presents a risk to the mine being shut down or otherwise negatively impacting operations is exactly that, a fallacy. It is estimated that these mines produced $1.5 billion in product revenue in 2018 alone. That's the latest data available at these states. He mentioned the payment in lieu of property tax. And I know some of the sitting commissioners, we had no idea that that was passed and went directly to the industrial board. And he made the last statement, no corporation is going to walk away from such a lucrative operation at the cost of imposing a 20 cent per ton mineral service tax, especially given the amount of capital on the magnitude of billions of dollars they have invested in the mines and related smelting equipment. He said, the time for this commission to act on this issue is now. It is time for our mining corporation to pay their fair share in maintaining our county roads. And he leaves you with one thought, Commission. He said you need to learn how to pronounce the Korean name of the mines. So thank you for allowing me to read that for Mr. Lance, and I appreciate it very much. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now, we'll do approval of notaries and bonds. Did everyone get the 4 additions? You will proceed to vote. We have 17 yes, 0 no. Passes. Next, we have nominating committee appointment of 6th district commissioner. We have a letter. Do you wish to read? That we don't face that. Who resigned? 6th district.
Oh, it's in the packet, we have resignation.
It would be a resignation letter. Did everybody get it in their packet?
Yeah. Yeah. We read it, or I read it. We don't read nothing in our packets.
Just take over.
Page 8. Page 8.
We got you.
Okay. Dear Chairman Carmichael and members of the County Commission, I am pleased to announce in the next few weeks I will be getting married to the love of my life and gaining 4 beautiful stepchildren that I dearly love. As my family grows, we have been searching for a new residence, and I'm pleased to announce that we have purchased our new home. Due to my relocation to a residence outside the 6th District of Strawberry Plains, I am no longer eligible to serve in this capacity, as state law requires that I vacate my seat upon moving outside the district. I represent the district I represent. It is necessary for me to step down from this position. Please accept this letter as formal resignation from the County Commission. My tentative moving date is March the 11th, 2026. With the election just around the corner, I respectfully ask that one of the qualified candidates from District 6 be nominated to fill my seat until the election. I have recently had the pleasure of getting to know candidate Mike Parker, who I believe would be a great representative and honorably serve the community that I have been blessed to call home. I remain committed to supporting the continued progress and well-being of our county and wish the Commission continued success in its work. Respectfully, Ransom Douglas.
All right, that being read, we will open the floor to nominations. We have a nomination.
I'd like to nominate Mike Parker.
I'll second.
I nominate Robert Bruner.
Hold on just a second. Okay, Bonnie?
Nominate Robert Bruner.
Nominations don't need a second.
No, they don't need a second.
Move nominations cease.
We have a motion on the floor to cease nominations.
Well, do I get to speak to it?
You didn't say nothing. Sir, you got the floor. I didn't see it, sorry.
Just making sure it's working. So, as the sitting member or commissioner of the 6th District, I would hope that what I might say might matter a little bit too. These two guys are going to win their May race because they face me in August. Okay? So there's 2 spots and they both get in. Then they face me in August. And whoever 2 wins that, that's your commissioner for the next 4 years. The voter decided and fired one of us. Okay? I don't think it's very fair to anybody involved in this, since it's the 3 of us in this race coming up, that I have to pick one or the other to be my partner for the next 5 months. Rather, I think we should have a placeholder. I would nominate Annette Loy. Mrs. Loy has been to more meetings than most people in this room. She's been elected official before in our district. She would accept the nomination if asked. And that makes it as fair and transparent as I think we can be, because that's what everybody in here is running on, fair and transparency. Let's be fair then. Let's be fair to the 3 of us. I think both of the candidates could probably say, you know what, that sounds pretty fair. For 5 months I can work on my campaign. That's just what I think. And I have sat in this seat for 15 years. And I've been the only commissioner in this district for more than one time. At least we come to meetings, though. There's a few positions that don't. So I would ask that all of you that served with me on this board, there's just a handful of us that's been here longer than most, 4 terms, would think maybe that sounds like the fair thing to do for everybody involved in this. So that's my recommendation. Annette Lloyd, let her fill it out. Let her hold to him until this is over, and let the voters of my district decide, because none of you can vote me or them in or out. None of you. On election day, but us in the 6th District. So that's my request. I nominate Mrs. Lloyd.
All right, we have Parker, Bruner, and Lloyd nominated. What we will do is call the roll. You will say either Parker.
Mr. Chairman, do we need to let them speak like we did on the last round?
We don't have to, unless somebody has to.
They got something to say.
If you got something to say, step up. Yeah, nominations have ceased.
Yeah, nominations have ceased.
Okay.
We will call the roll. It'll be Parker, Bruner, or Lloyd. It takes 11 votes to win. Nobody wanted to speak, did they? I didn't see nobody. Mr. Reed.
I would just like to say something to add on what Commissioner Levin said. I've known Ms. Loy. Ms. Loy has tremendous respect within this county. I happened to go along just to hear her speak to our election commission when they decided to limit us to 1 or 2 days as far as early voting in White Pine and Newmarket. I watched a lady stand up for every citizen in this county, and by her direct representation, representing me and you, guess what? The election commission backed off, and we have the actual first part of the absentee voted, or from the early voting from April 15th to April 30th, because of that lady sitting right there. I think the idea of a nonpartisan type period of time before the actual election is well deserved, and I think we have an outstanding citizen who's taught in this county, who's been involved in politics in the county. She's a leader, and I fully endorse her to be able to sit for a few months in a district that she has helped be able to have that extended voting for early voting. Thank you.
We'll proceed to vote when your name is called.
Katie Huffey.
Parker.
Janet Norton.
Parker.
Joe Coleman.
Lloyd.
Jimmy Dale Patterson.
Lloyd.
Austin Brooks.
Parker.
Paul Lowe, Jim Snodgrass,
Parker.
Tim Seals,
Bruner.
Sammy Solomon,
Bruner.
Robert Blevins,
Annette Lloyd.
Randy Bales,
Parker.
Aaron Lloyd,
Parker.
Ronnie Coleman,
Bruner.
Debbie D. Henry,
Bruner.
Jimmy Carmichael,
Bruner.
A.J. Walker,
Bruner.
Marcus Reed,
Lloyd.
Heidi Thomas.
Yeah.
Okay, we got 6 to 5, so we will have a runoff between Parker and Bruner.
Katie Huffey,
Parker.
Janet Norton,
Parker.
Joe Coleman,
Bruner.
Jimmy Dale Patterson,
Lloyd.
Can't do that. Pick another one.
Wake up, Jimmy Dick. Bruner.
Austin Brooks,
Parker.
Jim Snodgrass,
Parker.
Tim Seals,
Bruner.
Sammy Solomon,
Bruner.
Robert Blevins,
Stan.
Randy Bales,
Parker.
Aaron Lloyd,
Parker.
Ronnie Coleman,
Bruner.
Debbie D. Henry,
Bruner.
Jimmy Carmichael,
Bruner.
A.J. Walker,
Bruner.
Marcus Reed,
Parker.
Heidi Thomas.
We have an 8-8 stalemate. What's the pleasure?
Let him speak.
Let him
Push it
speak.
to the next one, like we did before.
Do that too, I'm good with that.
Okay, Mr. Mike Parker, come to the podium, please, sir.
Good evening, Chairman and Commission. My name is Mike Parker. I'm a Christ follower, husband of 36 years to my boss, also 8 children and 4 grandkids. I stand before you tonight because Ransom Douglas and I had a conversation back in December. He was sharing with me he was going to get married, and he asked me if I'd be willing to serve and run for County Commission. And I took a couple of weeks and I prayed through it. I then started coming to County Commission meetings so I could get up to speed on everything about Jefferson County as far as commission goes and how the commission meetings run, looking at budgets, trying to figure everything out. And I've still got a lot to learn. But I came here tonight with the expectation that as Ransom asked me if I'd be willing to serve for the remainder of his term, to do that, to serve our county. Not as a politician. I'm a pastor by trade. I've spent the last 30 years of my life serving others, not only here in Jefferson County, but also in Guatemala. I've run a nonprofit for the last 18 years, and I believe that the experience that I've had working with nonprofits, working with government leaders, not only in our country, but also in Guatemala, gives me the experience needed to bring people to the table, to try to negotiate, and to bring an end to division. What I've seen over this commission for the last few months, and I know I may lose some votes for saying this, has been division. If there's one side that wants it one way, one side wants it the other, with no one willing to come to the table and negotiate. And that's sad to me as a taxpayer. And that's why that I decided to run for county commission. Is because I believe that we are better than what we're seeing right now. And so I ask that you support me to allow me to continue what Ransom started here. I believe very closely that he does, the way that he does, the way that he voted. And as he and I have talked multiple times, and he took me around to introduce me to voters and introduce me to community members, recommending me, I believe that that I can serve this county well. And so that's what I ask for you tonight, to vote for me so I can finish out his term and serve him well. and then continue on as I run for county commission for the next 4 years. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Robert Bruner.
Good evening. Name's Robert Bruner from 6th District of Strawberry Plains, New Market area. I'm here willing to represent the constituents of my community and do what I can to help County Commission here in Jefferson County. We've got a lot of crossroads here that were discussed tonight. I think we've got ways that we can go forward. A lot of the discussion that we've had tonight, and I want to be able to help. And last year, Ransom, he reached out to me late in the fall about running, and at that time, I hadn't made a decision that I wanted to. So later in the winter, I studied on it, thought about it, and I decided that that's what would be best for me as to try to give back to my community and the county as a whole. It's your choice for tonight. In August, we'll have a choice from the constituents of the 6th District, and we'll let them speak to what they want. And tonight, it's your choice, and I'm okay if you decide one way or the other. I'm not here to sow division. I'm here to try to help. That's what it's about, is to try to sit on this commission and help solve the problems that face us as we go forward as a county. I'm sitting right now on the work session for zoning. I've been involved with that since being involved with zoning for my business. And I think our county, as it was stated earlier, we're 19th out of 22 in commercial revenue. So everybody's trying to find revenue, but as it was also stated by that same gentleman, if a company comes here to try to locate, there's all kinds of red flags that get thrown up right out of the hole. So the first thing they do is tuck tail and go a different direction. And as a community, we need to have good businesses. One that I think that we should have right now would be farm equipment mechanic. You can't find anybody that works. Everybody wants to be agricultural, but you don't have anybody to work on anything like that. So those are the type of businesses that I would support. Everybody's mentioned industrial. Jefferson County doesn't have infrastructure to support industrial big companies, so it's going to take small companies to make that happen. So if I'm chosen, I'll work with everybody here, do the best job I can, and be grateful for your vote. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Now we will proceed to vote once again.
Katie Huffaker.
Parker.
Janet Norton.
Parker.
Joe Coleman.
Parker.
Jimmy Dale Patterson.
Parker.
Austin Brooks.
Parker.
It's over.
Jim Snodgrass.
Parker.
Tim Seals.
Bruner.
Sammy Solomon.
Bruner.
Robert Blevins. Randy Bales.
Parker.
Aaron Lloyd.
Parker.
Ronnie Coleman.
Bruner.
W.D. Henry.
Bruner.
Jimmy Carmichael.
Bruner.
A.J. Walker.
Bruner.
Marcus Reed.
Parker.
Heidi Thomas.
Parker.
Ten to 6, we still lack a simple majority. You want to vote one more time, or do you want to postpone to the next meeting?
Let's go home.
What's the pleasure?
Postpone.
It'll be on the April's agenda. Next on the agenda, moving right along, reports from elected officials and department heads, County Mayor Mark Potts. Who moved to postpone? Ronnie. I thought it was Ronnie.
Without objection, postpone without objection.
Without an objection. County mayor's not with us tonight. I have no comments from the chair. Clerk and Master Barry Payne.
David Sill.
Just hold up, we'll put it in.
Okay.
Yeah, we done moved. Does Barry Payne have anything? Oh, he's here somewhere.
Chairman, just informational purposes only on policies.
Does anybody have a question or comment for Barry? If you want to address, go ahead.
These are just informational purposes on policies on the penny shortage. We adopted the same policies the county clerk and circuit court clerk did and the personnel policy.
Does anyone have anything for Barry? Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Next, we have County Attorney Doug Drennan. You have anything, Doug? Department Directors, Finance Department, Jessica Elders. You have anything? Anybody have a question, comment for Jesse? Jefferson County Schools, Tony Arnold. Anybody have anything? We have some surplus stuff for information only, reports of committees, boards, and others. We have next on the agenda the Budget Committee.
Yeah, I'll let Jessie go through that, since she didn't have no comments.
Appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Let's see here, we've got, you can take the first two together if you want, that's up to you all.
On the county side? Yeah.
Yep.
That's fine.
Okay.
$17 yes, 0 no. You have the floor.
So that also included Fund 116 as well? Okay, thank you. Next one's General Fund 141 for the schools, Amendment number 15. There are items 1 through 6. Item number 4 is increasing a reserve of a little shy of $30,000.
Question or comment? Not hearing them, proceed to vote. Passed.
Thank you. School General Fund 141, Amendment number 16. There are 2 items before you. Does not affect fund balance or reserves.
Question or comment? Not hearing them, proceed to vote. $17-0, pass.
Next item, General Fund 141. This is also School General, Amendment number 17. This is reducing fund balance by $750,000 to purchase required textbooks.
Question or comment? Proceed to vote. 17 yes, 0 no. Proceed.
Federal Fund 142, Amendment number 7. There are 2 items.
Question or comment? Proceed to vote.
School Capital Fund 177, Amendment number 5, 1 item.
Not hearing any. Proceed to vote. 17-0. Does that conclude?
That's it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jesse.
Next, you just have county commission items in your packet. And impacts on property tax, old business, there is none. We're gonna take a short 10-minute break. It is 8 o'clock, and then we're gonna finish this one up.
That sounds like a good song, though, Jimmy.
He is a nut.
Keep their computers on because it's been meant Call this meeting back to order. We are now on new business, Resolution 2026-11, resolution to levy a mineral severance tax on all sand, gravel, sandstone, chert, and limestone severed from the ground in Jefferson County, Tennessee. Mr. Blevins.
Oh, I was just thinking if the presentation was ready.
It can be, if you're ready for it.
I suppose so. I don't really know what it's talking. Ready, Mr. Chairman?
Sure.
Okay. So we know over here we're going to talk about implementing a mineral tax here in the Jefferson County, correct? We've heard from the mine guys and some of the other people in the
Get to the microphone, sir.
industry. I'm looking how to take this thing.
I don't think it will.
Okay.
Yeah, you can pull it out.
You want me to pull it out? Or just leave it in there? Let's just leave it. Okay, so the purpose of this presentation, to address the growing road damage and infrastructure needs of Jefferson County. Present the data that you've heard quite a bit about tonight, demonstrate the new revenue sources and financial benefits of this mineral severance tax, show alignment with the Tennessee law and county best practices, and to recommend the adoption of the 20-cent mineral tax per ton. Why this matters. The heavy truck traffic and underground mining accelerate road deterioration, increasing the frequency of damaging and failing roads and sinkholes. The Highway Department budget is strained and historically challenged to sustain, an example, requiring property on other tax increases, such as property taxes. Property taxes currently shoulder nearly all of the road costs. New mineral tax revenue could replace the need for a 2 to 3 cent property tax. So the data that we were given and got from the state, how we could collect it, it's 25 producing mines in Tennessee, the highest in eighth, the highest in Tennessee. You know that you've heard 69 out of them already do it. They already imposed this mineral tax, which has been on the books since 1985. We're missing out on the revenue lost that most of these counties already collect, that Knox County already collects, where some of these companies also work in. Of the 11 counties not taxing, many have just specialty minerals. You've heard about the TCA code that allows us to do this. It went into effect in 1985. We brought this up the first time since I was here. And the next year is when the pilot ended on that. So the legal rate increases. Over the next 10 years, it goes to 30 cents a ton. It's 20 cents a ton now, 25 cents a ton in 2030, and it jumps to 30 in 2035. All the revenue must go to fix county, paved county roads. It cannot be diverted for anything else in government spending. You've heard that the Tennessee Attorney General has already spoke. It's not a double tax. Okay. So the taxes we've collected, the mineral taxes so far, you see on the screen there, in 2023 was 7.46 million rather. 2024, 9.7 million. 2025, 7.9 million.
539 mines in production statewide have mineral taxes levied upon them. So if we were going to say mining in East Tennessee produces, how do we say? Let's say this jar has 50 cents or $50 worth of dimes in it. That represents what they're taking in, and we're asking for 20 cents of that, basically. That's pretty much it in a nutshell. You can compare it to gum or whatever you want to. It's 20 cents per ton of a non-renewable resource that's taken out of this county. We get nothing for it otherwise. Nothing for it otherwise. All right. If we would have put this in 2025 through 2029, last year through 2029, we would have brought in $518,000. So in 5 years, that's $2.6 million for road paving. When it goes to 25 cents per ton in 2030, you see that it raises to $647,000. Over 5 years, it's $3.2 million, and so on and so forth. Till we get to 20 years, we could have brought in $13.6 million for Jefferson County roads. So the estimated revenue is based over 3.4 million reported tons mined annually in Jefferson County, and that's their numbers, that's their numbers. The failed mineral tax has cost us $582,000 in lost revenue. We didn't pass this in January of 25. We brought it back up in April of 25. It failed again. And just 15 months, it's $582,000 of lost revenue. The new mineral tax revenue could have reduced the recent 6-cent property tax that took the form, that took the rate from 143 to 149. Each month without a mineral tax is costing this county $43,000 in lost revenue. Not having a mineral tax places the burden, again, squarely on the taxpayers. Let's see, this is how we voted on April 21st. The red were against it, the noes, and the green were for it. So Norton, Brooks, Snodgrass, Blevins, Douglas, and Reed voted for it. Then you see the red. Huffaker, Patterson, Byrd, Johnson, Seals, Solomon, Bales, Lloyd, Coleman, Dockery, Carmichael, and Thomas. I would hope that the information provided here will help everyone in this room, the county commissioners, and people watching at home to understand that 86% of the counties already do this that have mining. Not one job has been lost. That's their own numbers too, directly with this mineral tax. They're taking the mineral from here. It doesn't get any money given to us when it's taken from here and it gets sold somewhere else after refining. The byproducts is what we're taxing. Okay. The clicker's not working. Sorry.
Clicker's not working.
All right. So what's 13.6 million mean for roads? It costs 1 mile, to pay 1 mile of county road, and Joe Patterson, you're in here, is approximately $130,000. Farmed out, right? I'm sorry?
205.
It's 205 now? So it's went up to 205 now. Well, there's some new numbers for you to talk about. So if this mineral tax passed on the number there, you could do 25% of the county's road system. We have 400 miles plus of road here. We have all of old AJ now from Knox County through, don't we? The state made us take it. Gave it to us. Here, guys, you can have it. You take care of it. It's all pieces. So let's see. And sought for the winter roads. A small portion of this could be redirected to cover the costs needed. If we do one treatment of all 400 miles of road, Joe, it's about $75,000 when we got the numbers. Has it went up to? Yes, sir.
$10,000 for 6 months.
Okay.
If you're going to ask questions, he's going to have to come to the microphone.
All right. Let's talk about your pressures on Joe's department. So fiscal year 24-25, 5.5 million. 25 to 26, 6.5 million. It's 18.2% increase. Historically, the budget for them has faced shortfalls and it's been strained. Mineral tax will cover 8% of the highway budget, 25 through 26. It reduces the reliance again on our property taxes and others, such as the wheel tax. And the reality of the road paving, if we did it the way we're doing it now and don't pay 5 miles of road a year, it would take us 80 years to refresh all 400 miles in our road system. that far exceeds 20-year best practice cycles. And the mineral tax revenue is vital to help bridge this gap and ensure the safe and timely manner of the infrastructure maintenance. Here's some examples. Esslinger Road, sinkhole, 2025. Odell, sinkhole, 2024. You can see it there. Look, there's all kinds of sinkholes all over the place. Aberdeen Trail, Big Bend Road's got problems on the tunnel. We need to pave all over this county. And right now you can pave 1.5 miles of road with what we got. So there's some pictures of them.
There's my tracker.
You can go to the next one. There's Burner Road at Old AJ, part of Old AJ, Beaver Creek Road. I think that might be falling in. Joe, we might need to get y'all to go look at that. So the mining, waste, and road impact. Zinc ore, Tennessee contains only 2.5 to 3.5% zinc. That's what the guy said last time, I think. 96.5 to 97.5% of it is limestone waste. This waste is hauled on county roads as aggregate. Heavy truckloads accelerate the road wear, as you've heard. We all know that. Simple severance. This mineral severance tax helps offset that impact. The ag industry and the mining union are supportive of the mineral taxes. It passed in 1985 and several other counties since, in Knox County last year. And I believe Knox County brought in 900-something thousand last year on it. So 69 of the 80 counties with mines already have it and levy the tax. The mineral tax would only add $4 on a $1,000 20 truckload of gravel. If it was your pickup there, it's 40 cents on a 100-ton load. 40 cents. NISTAR announced the sale of the Tennessee the Tennessee mining operations, the smelter, and the operations to Korea Zinc, and they put in $6.6 billion down there. The speculation would lead you to think that mining will increase in Tennessee given the significant smelting investment. Some counties report a cooperative relationship with the ag producers. So this tax ensures mining operations contribute fairly to the infrastructure costs. If mining causes damage to roads, should they not pay to help repair it? And if the mineral reporting is self-reporting with reliance on company integrity, the state of Tennessee has an oversight committee that keeps an eye on that. And the penalties for compliance are much stiffer than the tax itself, so I'm sure that they would do an honest answer on it. I mean, right? So new laws require transparency in how the revenue is spent. And you've heard earlier, the rule of thumb there is true. One pass for fully loaded 20-ton truck causes as much pavement damage as 9,600 passenger cars. One pass. So over how many years would it take? So the summary is it's a dedicated new source of revenue for our roads. We reduce the burden on property tax owners, support long-term infrastructure planning, aligns Jeff County with statewide best practices, helps address the road repair and failures, potholes, and sinkholes that we have everywhere, and supports economic development through better transportation networks across the county. So, we ask that you vote yes on this, adopt the 20-cent mineral severance tax effective 2026. We're authorized to do it. There is $13.6 million in new revenue that we can bring in over 20 years for this. And we reduce the mineral tax, reduces the burden on property taxpayers. That's really one of the key points there. Because where else are we going to go to get it? It won't be gas stations. It won't be selling cigarettes and beer. We hope this information will help you understand the importance of supporting this mineral tax like 86% of other counties with mines have already done and still operate just fine. Thank you very much.
Question or comment? Katie Huffaker.
Okay, so as I studied the presentation. There's a couple of things I want to point out first, though, from the comments from earlier. So, the company's receiving a 20-year pilot where they're going in Clarksville, and the state of Tennessee gave $45 million fast-track economic development grant for this smelting operation. So I just want to point that out. But I want to say, I will agree that our county roads have damage. We need to focus on our infrastructure. Tennessee law tax, and that tax must go to the county highway road funds. Several other counties in Tennessee have a mineral tax, and we do need to diversify the tax base. But my concerns regarding the presentation, I will go over it because I studied it and then I try to do my own research. So regarding the idea that the mineral severance tax could replace the need for a 2 to 3 cent property tax increase, I think it would be highly risky to use mineral tax to reduce property tax revenue. The highway fund is a maintenance of effort fund. This is determined over a 5-year average that is reported to the state. If the maintenance of effort is decreased due to a decrease in mineral tax, the state would then reduce our gas tax revenue and state aid that we receive from the state. So at present, our 5-year average from total local revenue is approximately $2.8 million, and we receive approximately $2 million from the state of Tennessee for the highway department, which we could put at risk if we base this off of the mineral tax. The mineral severance tax is unpredictable. The product sales and mineral taxes are self-reported from companies mining or selling the rocks. The tax is based upon sale of products weight. Revenue with the tax will fluctuate and will not be consistent year after year. I believe the mineral tax could only help supplement road department, not replace or reduce property tax. So, mining in Jefferson County, my next point. Okay, so I contacted the Tennessee Department of Environment and Conservation, TDEC, for information. TDEC oversees a water quality permit. Mine sites require a TDEC permit due to water runoff. TDEC can't tell if a site is active, they can only tell if the permit is active. So the nice person at TDEC walked me through, we went through their website, and according to TDEC, there are 10 mining sites in Jefferson County that have active permits, and one of those is pending, so non-active sites. If you look at the list, I said, no, there's 11 sites, and he said, no, our highway department has 2 numbers, but they're the same site. So there's 9 active mining sites in the county. So, and he told me how to double check that number was to go to the Mine Safety and Health Administration website, which we did together on the phone. When we went there, there are 9 active mines and 16 abandoned mines in Jefferson County. So we have 9 active mines in Jefferson County, which ranks us between 16th and 18th place in the state. So the 25 comes from the 16 abandoned mines, which you can't include. So it could be somebody else owned it before, they shut it down, but those do not have active permits. And in addition, a couple of our active status mines are not producing. When I calculate the number of Tennessee counties with mines that have mineral tax, I get 81% too. That did not come from TDEC. Okay, estimated revenue. So in my research, multiple entities have told me that exact production numbers for zinc mines are unknown because it's a private company and their records are not public. So we can't figure out that number. By law, only coal mines are required to report production numbers. What is required and what is public record are quarterly work hours and approximate employee counts for mines. TDEC person helped me again with this, and he showed me how to find that information on the MSHA website. So I've been told the estimated annual revenue in the presentation is overestimated and inflated. Ag exempt products cannot be included in the numbers generating the mineral severance tax revenues. So there's no way for me to come up with valid for an estimate on that number. Okay, the commission vote April 2025. I did vote no in April 2025. I think I voted yes in January 2025. And I'm probably the only one in the room that can say that. So, but I want to point out for historical reference, that since 1976, Jefferson County has been debating implementing the mineral severance tax. So for 50 years, we've been discussing this and voting on it. So if you listed all the no votes, there would be a whole slew of us, because for 50 years, we've been talking about it. I think it hasn't passed because it's a complex issue and leadership's been concerned about negatively affecting jobs and businesses. Why do I think that? The zinc mines have closed or have had reduction in force several times throughout the years. Zinc is a global commodity on the world exchange and typically has a low profit margin. So in the fluctuations, that's when it could close or jobs could be, people could be laid off. So in April 2025, when we voted on it last, the Nearstar representative explained the current struggles of the company. He stated the company wasn't profitable at the time and asked us to give them a couple years to restructure. He offered to sit down and discuss a plan with the county for the future, trying to help the county as well as helping his employees. Out of respect to the employees, families, and companies related to this mining operation in Jefferson County, I feel my vote in April 2025 was appropriate. So, also, our highway department paves between 20 to 30 miles of roads per year. The zinc mines generate a byproduct of ag lime that is used and valued by farmers and is exempt from the mineral severance tax. So some of the mining waste, I would say there's very little waste and most of it is used, be it rock or ag lime. With the sale of Nostar, the mine sale is a joint venture with the U.S. federal government and Korean Zinc. This brings several unknown questions to me. Will taxes apply since the federal government is involved if they're owning 40%? What is their intent for Jefferson County mines? Will employee benefits remain similar regarding pay, insurance, and number of employees? Will there be capital investments and tax incentives given? As mentioned, we don't currently have a pilot. We don't have a tax abatement. I don't know what the company's going to do. So I'm going to say in summary, I feel the mineral tax would not have reduced the property tax increase last year, and lost revenue can't be projected with any certainty. Although I'm not completely opposed to the idea of a mineral severance tax, I feel we need to slow down, take an opportunity to talk to Nearstar, to the representative like he suggested in the April meeting. I think it would be more beneficial for the county to let the sale of the mine go through, find out what the company has in mind for Jefferson County operations, meet with the owner, develop positive communication, and hopefully gain a cooperative relationship. Maybe Korea Zinc would like to invest other business ventures in our county, which could lead to greater economic impact. I would like to see a wonderful partnership with the new owners. In addition, we need guidance, research from the state to help answer other questions and concerns. I appreciate opening the communication of this topic again, but I think we're premature with another vote at this time. I feel the information is insufficient and additional clarification, research, and information needs to be obtained. That's my personal opinion on this tax.
Anyone else, question or comment before we proceed to vote?
Oh, we don't have a motion.
Do I have a motion? P.J. Walker.
Here, growing up, you worked on a farm, you drove a school bus, you worked in the mines, you worked at Magnavox, or you worked at Inc. and Marstown. And for all you miners that's here tonight, thank you all for what you do. It takes a special person to go underground day in and day out. And before anybody asks, no, I have no ties. You can sit up there and hold a jar of change all day long. We lost our jobs over 2 pennies and got sent home. 2 pennies, not $2. Yes, we did. Zinc prices fell. We lost our jobs under East Tennessee Zinc. I worked there, I know. All your all's propaganda, you keyboard warriors on Facebook that's moved here. If the roads are so bad in District 7, We're working on getting them fixed. It's a slow process. You moved here, you chose to stay here. We're working on it. Thank you.
Anyone else? Is there a motion on the floor? No. Mr. Bales?
I voted against this last year because I'm concerned about the jobs that are out here. We can say it's not gonna cost. I think last year we asked Mr. Kessmeyer, he can come up again if he'd like to, or anybody that would want to answer that from Near Star, if this could possibly cost jobs. What amount of jobs is worth 2.5 miles of pavement from their jobs? It's simple to me. We can vote it in if that's what everybody decides to do. But in my opinion, we're better to have the jobs here, the good paying jobs, $21 to $55 an hour. And I apologize because I'm squirming a lot. I'm fixing to pass the kidney stone, I believe. But I'm gonna stay here this day.
I'm sorry you are, I know. That's hard.
I hope you
You got it.
Bales has the floor. Everyone else.
That's why I'm sitting here squirming, but I will stay for this vote if I don't pass out. So that's where I'm at. I'm done.
Mr. Reed?
I would just like to say something for the citizens as well as commission. I've listened to a lot of back and forth during this election season, and we're talking about property tax. We're talking about people that make good money, and I do appreciate what the mines do. I want us to remember that we have county employees that cannot even make a living at $18 an hour. They have children, maybe a single parent. I talked to the director of 911 today, and he's losing 2 people because he can't keep them because we don't pay them. And they make $18 an hour compared to $13 for the highway department, compared to what the constitutional office within the county. We do not have a human resource department in the county or a human resource consultant. We do not have a codes enforcer that we can get out and enforce the codes. So what am I saying to you as the citizens of our county and to county commission? We've got some real hard decisions to come up because a lot of our department heads are, like me, becoming more refined as they get older. And we're gonna have to replace them, and we're not gonna be able to get them at the cost that we pay them right now. So, you know, we're looking for different revenue. And we need revenue. I don't want anyone to lose their job, but what are we gonna do when we don't have people working in the courthouse except for the ones that are paid by us through the state, the elected officials? So please just open your mind up and think about that. We gotta find some money somewhere. Thank you.
Anyone else?
We shouldn't be having this discussion without a second. So we're debating a question and having a call. So we need a second.
Aaron Lloyd.
Did
you, who made the motion?
Somebody needs to make the second.
You made the
Oh, you did,
motion. Okay, who made the second?
Jim.
Bob made the motion. I made the second.
Okay. Aaron Lloyd.
So I believe Mr. Frank, and I apologize if I don't pronounce your name right, Kirschmeyer, maybe could you answer a few questions for us, please? That'd be fine. Yeah.
You okay? All right.
Thank you. I just have a couple of questions and appreciate you being here and being willing to provide the information.
Of course.
First one, will this tax be detrimental to the economic viability of mining operations in Jefferson County?
I can say with confidence that our current operations is not cash positive. So any further impact and downward pressure, I cannot comment on the liability other than we are currently not cash positive.
Okay, so to the extent that jobs would be lost, you would say yes or no?
As a publicly traded company, we can't disclose what's going to forthcome with additional tax pressure. I would like to propose that this is about risk. And whether or not Jefferson County would like to propose impacting a 9-figure deal that impacts the state of Tennessee and the United States. Is it worth the small amount of revenue here generated to potentially impact that deal? We don't know how the Koreans are going to react to that, but we do know that that there is a risk to that deal. It is not signed today. We do not know what the impact potentially from this tax would be to that. We as Nearstar really feel that Jefferson County should be approaching this as we need to set the standard for the United States of how we approach our critical minerals and our rare earths. And adding additional taxes and additional downward pressure associated with that sale is not a good thing for the county.
So if given the opportunity, would you be able to provide any financial insights highlighting this potential risk to the profitability of the mines to County Commission?
Can you explain a little bit further?
I assume you have financial insights in mind whenever factoring in the impact this tax may have on the mining operation as a whole here in Jefferson County. So would you be able to provide specific numbers showing where it would be detrimental to jobs?
I'm going to defer to Matt. You want to comment further? If that's acceptable, can I have one of my colleagues field that level of question on the economics?
Hello, I'm Matthew Harding, the Vice President of Operations for Nearstar, Tennessee. Look, yeah, I think, we've spoken about transparency and honesty. I think there's a willingness on our end to be transparent. What I can say now is that from a net revenue perspective, I do believe the numbers are currently overstated. The fraction of net revenue that we forecast, from a fiscal year perspective, we're halfway through our current fiscal year. At this stage, we forecast to receive net revenues less than $200 million. When you take out the $65 million that we currently pay to salaried employees, 50% of which reside here in Jefferson County, take out cost of operations, of which $15 million of that is paid to local vendors, and take out various other costs to operations, of which include the $500,000 of taxes we already pay through properties and sale taxes, we are left with very marginal earnings. I think it's important that we clarify the distinction between earnings and profit. The operations, as we've stated today, have been operating for a long time. We have a 100-year history of operation that we are extremely proud of. Unfortunately, what comes with 100 years of operations is a huge amount of capital required to keep those mines active. We're proud to have invested near $100 million on top of that. That comes out of those earnings. So you can do the math in terms of if we're sitting at relatively marginal earnings, we've got $100 million on top of that. There is still a long way to go in terms of turning a profit. And I think, from my perspective, we need to look at this as a bigger picture rather than just a 0.4% tax. I think through the turnaround efforts, there were some comments made earlier from the previous representatives, discussions that we have been on a journey of turning the operations around from a cash flow perspective. We've been extremely successful in that, and we're proud to have done that, which has afforded us the position to continue employing people here in Jefferson County. But unfortunately, a lot of that upside that we've been successful in achieving has been very quickly eroded, particularly in the last 6 months through increased tariffs. Now what we're facing is additional headwind through diesel prices, and we are very much at a point that this could be the straw that breaks the camel's back. I hope that answers your question.
It does, yeah. Thank you all. And, as somebody that represents District 7 in the Newmarket area, throughout my life, I've seen the opportunity, that those jobs provided people in the area to provide for their family, and don't take this decision lightly at all. So, thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mr. Snodgrass.
Heard a lot of good information here tonight, excellent research, both sides of the operation, but kind of my thoughts are, I've worked for multi-billion-dollar companies off and on over the years, dealing with aluminum and oil commodities. Very similar situation. What I've found working for publicly traded companies is they don't care about the local folks. They don't care about what their stock price does. And they don't care who they harm or who they cut, no matter what the condition is. I've seen it, I've lived it. I think turn that over to, from a multi-billion-dollar company, how you run and operate, look at your capital, look at your cost structure, your margins. It's the same as the guy running Elsa's on. They're doing the same thing. Maybe their capital's maybe 1% of what you do. The folks farming, same way. They run their business structure the same way. Anybody in there running a business, the same as a multi-billion-dollar, unless you're publicly traded, as you would a small business. So, you talk about it from the restaurant standpoint, the gentleman mentioned earlier. We got a pretty good selection going and improving here in Jefferson County. Those folks get another land tax increase. They're going to figure out how to do that. They're going to raise the menu prices. That's all they can do. And the farmer and their commodities, where they're buying seed, put out row crops, or where they're choosing to buy fertilizer, which is also a bit of a commodity that moves. They choose fertilizer, lime, or they choose weed control. Okay, they have to make the same decisions. There's no different. Nobody wins here. There is no winner if we have to add more taxes. But the bottom line is, this county can't go forward without new revenue streams. We made progress with the short-term rental. This is another means, and I'm going to vote for it just like I did the last 2 times. And I don't take anybody losing their job lightly. I've been in that situation as well. But we're all in this boat together. But for large multi-billion-dollar corporations, I think you guys can pay up a little bit more. And I'm not saying you guys out here boots on the ground every day. That's a little different. We're talking about the guys up above. And I'll challenge again, same thing I said last year at this time, challenge our department leaders to spend money that can create less operational cost in the future. Thank you.
Mr. Sammy Solomon.
Call for a question.
Question's been called. We'll proceed to vote. If you don't want the mineral sales tax, you will vote yes. If you're against it, vote no. You have 12 no, 5 yes, noes have it. We'll move on to the next one. Next, we have Resolution 2026-12, resolution authorizing Jefferson County to apply for the Recreational Trails Program grant, committing the necessary matching funds. Question or comment? Not hearing any, we'll go. Whoa, you got one? Oh, got you now, Brooks.
Yes. Where would the funds come from?
Gary, would you come to the stand, please?
Before Gary goes, if anybody needs to leave for any medical reasons or job reasons, I would certainly understand and respect that. Seriously, I would totally respect that. I would almost ask that if anybody needs to leave for a medical reason, that they please do it. I'm asking that if they need to do that, that please happens right now.
Mr. Bales.
I'll stick around.
Hang in there.
Won't get rid of me that easy.
Carrie, would this be from the general fund, or could it be used from hotel tax maybe?
That is completely up to county commission. The resolution that's before you does say fund balance, but the resolution can be amended. Again, this is a grant. We're asking for $490,000 to go toward Roriton Park. It is an 80-20 match, so we would be responsible for the 20% match of $98,000. I do feel personally that improving parks, especially Roriton Park, which is the only county-owned park in Jefferson County. All the other parks within the county belong to their respective municipalities. So this is our one and only park that I would like to use grant money toward. I personally feel that it is definitely goes towards boosting tourism. So I do believe that the hotel motel tax could be used for this 20% match and used towards county park renovations. So that is completely up to county commission. If you would like to amend the resolution at a later time or this time, you can. But I need county commission's approval that we will at least commit to the 20% match. Yes, that grant application is due April 1st. So I'm glad that we got this rescheduled before the end of March, thank you. Yeah, I think that answers your question.
Sure. So, Mr. Chairman, I prefer to use hotel motel, but because this is time sensitive, is that too iffy?
I don't think we have to actually pay up till we actually get awarded, so it wouldn't be.
I could go ahead and send an email if this is approved this evening to the state and see if this is an allowed expense.
Okay.
I would prefer to have approval prior to making the amendment on the resolution.
Got it. All right, I'm good.
Anyone else? Jimmy Dale.
Was we told, or maybe Karen, it's only 50/50.
Microphone, please.
Only 50% chance of getting.
Yes, this is a highly competitive grant. So, I mean, and I just have to have county's commitment to the 20% to even apply. And, you know, it being highly competitive, there's a chance that this may be a moot point, you know, but I at least need your permission to at least apply for the grant and ask for the money.
Anyone else?
This was, I just want to add to that, we also, another condition of the grant is that it had to go through Jefferson County's Conservation Board, and it was unanimously approved by the Conservation Board to bring this forward to County Commission, so.
Anyone else? Thank you, Ms. Carey. We'll proceed to vote. Seventeen yes, 0 no, passes. Last, we got resolution 2026-13, resolution to adopt fee schedule update for Jefferson County Department of Environmental Health. This is a first reading. We have a motion on the floor, seconded. Question or comment? Not hearing any, we'll proceed to vote. Leave your computers on because we do have a beer board. It passes 17-0. Hang on, Miss Katie. Miss Katie has a letter to read.
Okay, this is from David Seal, and it's the same letter he wrote last week, but it still applies. So he says, I intended to be present at your meeting tonight to present my information in person and answer questions. However, with the budget process at a critical stage and having appointments with 8 members of the House Finance Committee on Tuesday, I decided it would be more productive to leave for Nashville early today and prepare for my Tuesday meetings, which start early on Tuesday. Because the legislature is on the verge of finalizing the budget, the focus among those lobbying for the real estate transfer tax bill has shifted to the Finance Committee members in each chamber. Those members are the legislators that prioritize each element of the state budget prior to the floor vote. I continue to stay in contact with the Tennessee County Officials Association, which drafted the legislation last session, and the Tennessee County Government Lobbyists. We are all working on the same goal of benefiting local county governments. One of the meetings I had last week was with the chair of the House Finance Committee, The budget should be finalized by the second week in April based on the predictions that I'm getting from the legislators that I work closely with. This means that I have 3 more trips to Nashville before the conclusion of the sessions. You will be receiving a list of Finance Committee members in each chamber via email with the suggestion that you contact them in support of SB 1080, HB 649. Some of you have already contacted the Finance Committee members, and that is greatly appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Katie. Announcements, Newmarket Fire Department has Easter Parade and Egg Hunt April 4th. And I'll entertain a motion to adjourn, and we'll go back into session for beer board.
So moved.